Hello, viewers. Today we have, I want to say it's a 6-inch, yes, it says it right there, 6-inch personal desk fan. Not really into oscillator fans, desk fans. I talked about in the channel. We do have a handful of oscillator fans on the channel, which has gotten some good feedback. And a lot of those oscillating fans were found at a location that they did not belong to me. There's definitely one. There was a Lakewood oscillating fan that does belong to me, and I tell the story behind that and why I have that. This one does belong to me, actually more so my son now, not myself, but it does have a backstory. It's also dirty. This fan, I do not know the brand of it. And before I turned on the camera, I did look underneath, and it's just, there's some plastic there, but I was able to make it out, scratch it out, and it's really just about the power draw. There was nothing about where it was made or anything like that. So it makes me wonder if there was a sticker somewhere at one point in time. But it just says 6-inch personal fan. That's it. So the story behind this is my great aunt, and I do apologize for any lighting here. I'm kind of at a different spot. My great aunt, who passed away at the age of 78, but God bless her, she seemed like she was 108 from what I remember. I was young, so of course everyone seems older when you're young. And she passed away 31 years ago. So 1993, she passed away. And we would stay at her home when we would go visit, because she was just outside of Philadelphia area, and I do have a bit of family there. So we would come and spend the weekend, whatever. And she lived in a home, and I really wish the home was still in the family, and it hasn't been since she passed away. The home that she lived in was a Sears and Roebuck modular home that you could purchase. And the story goes, I think it was my mother's grandfather, I think I have the story correct, built the home. He ordered everything from Sears and Roebuck. It was delivered, and he built the home. So modular homes are built all the time today. There's companies that just do that. They show up with everything on a wide load truck, and they just build it. But this was, I think, more back then. You could essentially do it yourself. Now, I don't know if a modular home appeared in the Sears catalog or how that worked, but as a kid growing up, the home was really cool to me, because originally it was constructed to be basically a two-family home, because my great aunt, she was a school teacher. She was, for all intents and purposes, she was more like an old maid. She never married, never had a partner, lived alone, but was very content, it appeared. She was a school teacher, a career school teacher, and she went to church all the time. She was the little old lady when she passed away who had a 15-year-old car with like 10,000 miles on it, because she just drove it to the store and to church. That was her. But in this home, it was converted back away from, initially the setup was a two-family home, because people who would come and stay for the church, she would have them live upstairs. And the upstairs had a separate entrance, had a separate kitchen, and it had a full bathroom, so you could basically come and go. But I guess as she got older, for whatever reason, and before I was born, decided to kind of convert it back, or convert it to more of just a single family home. And what was neat was that the way the house was originally built, there was a stairwell on the first floor in the living room as you came into the house. But when I was a kid, that stairwell, before I was born, that stairwell was removed. Actually, correction, the house was originally a single family home, converted to a two family home so she could take in people from the church, but then ultimately converted it back. But the stairwell, I guess in the 50s and the 60s, ran right in the living room. Like most homes, you come in the front door and you just go like up this, you can go up the steps or stay on the first floor. Well, that was all removed. And what I remember is instead of a complete stairwell, there was now a closet at the back of that living room. And if you open the closet door, there's a coat closet, there's coats in there, but there was the remnants of the stairwell. It was eerie because it looked like a stairwell that went nowhere. It basically was. There was like 3 or 4 stairs and then a wall, and that was it. I know I'm digressing, but it's cool to talk about where these fans come from, and that's kind of the point of for me anyway. When I collect, I like to be able to tell a story versus just buying something on eBay. Although usually when I buy something on eBay, it's because it reminds me of something else. Well, this home was built with no air conditioning. And because my aunt was extremely old school, she had, for television, she had a 13-inch TV that the picture eventually went. She would just listen to it. She didn't even complain. We didn't know until we turned the TV on that there was even a problem. And outside of Philly, in a home that was built in the 50s, let alone a modular home, it gets extremely hot in the summer and the humidity did bother her. She didn't have a single fan in the entire house, no air conditioner, and she was an aging woman, certainly by the time I was born. And I remember one time going into, it might have been that closet with the stairs. This fan, or it could have been in the basement. The basement was like really old school. If the house was built in the 50s, almost scary if you're a little kid, but it was really cool. And I can't remember if this was in the basement on a shelf with a bunch of other like glass jars full of like washers and screws and whatnot. But this fan, I'm pretty sure, was in that closet, sitting on one of the steps just in the back of the closet. And what I remember distinctly about it was thinking, well, it's like 100 degrees outside. Even though this is the only fan in the house, she's not even using that. And the other thing is, my great aunt, for extension cords or any appliance that had a cord on it, she would take either the tube from a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll and like safely, like, I don't know, wind up the power cord and slide it through the center of the paper towel or toilet paper roll. She did that with her extension cords. You would go into her cabinet, there would be an old-fashioned oatmeal container, empty, and with like tubes of paper towels with the extension cords like neatly put in each side, inside of each one. So that's how I found this fan as a little guy. So she passed away. I was 15 years old, and I thought, oh, I'll take this fan. Yes, I was into fans from the second I could open my eyes in this world. So I took it. I really didn't do too much with it. It sat in my cubicles years ago when I had a cubicle at work, and then I might have put it on my nightstand, blow air at me at night. And then ultimately my son ended up with it. So here it is. And my son's pretty good. He services it. If you follow the channel, I did a video on his custom cool color Lasco Galaxy box fan. He restored that himself. So he'll probably service this at some point and clean it. The one thing that happened to this fan that annoyed me, somebody was sitting at my desk at work one day, and this is like 15 years ago, probably longer. And they were sitting there on the phone doodling, and they took a pen and they just like traced around the center. As far as I've owned this fan, this never had like a label in here. I feel like there could have been a label, with the brand. Is it a Galaxy? I don't know. Somebody might be able to tell me. And I probably could do my own research on eBay and find one just like it with the label on it. But I don't know. So here's the little guy in all his glory. He's ancient. he didn't turn to yellow because he really wasn't like in a window or anything. Switch in the back like this. Yeah, we can go up and down. And so we'll just turn it on. I know I did more talking than actually like really messing with the performance, but I just thought it was cool to say, I've owned this since 1993, but it's probably early 90s to late 80s. It doesn't look 80s to me. It looks like it's a 90s product, but here we go. Let's start with low. It's very quiet, pretty good airflow. Super quiet. Let's do medium. And if you're hearing background noise outside of the fan, it is a very windy day here, and the room I'm in has a sliding door open and it has a screen door open. So I apologize for that. High. Oh, it's only a 2-speed. So that was high. So, I mean, quite frankly, I wouldn't buy one of these. I would stick like a bigger oscillator on my desk, or better yet, jam a box fan in somewhere. I just love an excuse to use a box fan. But personal 6-inch desk fan. It would be great in the comments if somebody could tell me what brand they think it is. It doesn't have a model number underneath. Again, it's just the power draw information. Probably could use a drop of oil at this point. And I thank you for listening to my story about this little guy. He'll live on with my son. And make sure, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, like this video. And as always, thanks for watching.